Welcome to our playthrough of Spacecorp 2025 to 2300 AD by John Butterfield and GMT Games. This just arrived today. There's a Board Game Geek thread asking for a video, and I did offer to make one, and I confess I just got this game today. So here's my promise and commitment to all of you. I can't promise I'm going to get all the rules right, but what I am going to do is I'm going to record what I know when I know it. And so right now, what I know is I sorted out the components and I read the component overview. And then what I figured I would do is I would go over the components with you, help you set up, sort out the game, and then we're going to go through setup together. I have not read setup yet, so we're going to read it together. So you're going to explore it with me, if you will, because after all, this is a space exploration game, so why not? I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get this uploaded to Board Game Geek, and this is going to be a playlist. So this is just video one of the playlist. I am not going to start playing on this particular video. That'll be video two. And I promise you this much, I won't actually play the game until I've at least read more of the rules. But I figured for tonight, I can at least get this up, get your appetite whet, help some of you who have the game to at least get your components sorted, and we'll go through setup. And if I have questions, I definitely welcome help. If you are trying to help me 3 months after I post this video, it's not going to be very helpful, so please understand that. But yeah, I definitely want to help folks. I see value in having a video. That's actually why I do this, is because I believe I play a lot of very fun games that nobody does a video for. Not to criticize some of them, but the people who make board game videos do a fantastic job, but I think they nitpick, or not nitpick, they cherry pick only the games that have a high volume of sales, because that increases their subscriptions. And games that don't have a high volume of sales, they tend to skim over. And that's almost anything that's in a niche, like a Danverson game or a GMT game. So with that being said, I don't fault them for that. I mean, it's just how business works. But I'm not in this to make money. I don't make a single dime, and I'm never gonna ask you for money, at least not this year. I mean, I'm not gonna, maybe sometime in the distant future I would start taking this more seriously. But anyways, long story short, that's what I'm here for. That's what I offer to do. And so if you were ringing my doorbell right now, I would invite you in, and this is exactly how we would sit down and engage in the game. So I welcome you to join me. I'm not promising you I know everything. I don't. But here's the little bit I do know. So as you punch your pieces and etc., you're going to have 4 sets of components. There's going to be purple, yellow, green, and blue, and those will be on the punch boards. There will be one special component on the punch board that's a square that says profit, and of course there's one of those for each player. And then in a separate baggie is going to be 4 cubes for each player, and I put the green ones down here, but I tried to separate them based on where I opened them from. Okay? There are some symbols in the game that the rulebook explains, and I have to say, so far it's been quite wonderful. I'm the first to talk about how GMT stinks at their rulebooks, and they do. But Skies Above the Right was a wonderful rulebook, and so far this one has been a wonderful rulebook, and I'm very pleased with that. And so the coin games, not so much. But, Unconditional Surrender, not so much. Hitler's Reich, definitely not so much. But this one, they nailed it so far. So anyways, here's the thing to look for. You're going to have these components that have stars on them. Okay, there's 3 pictures that you need, or 3 icons you need to know about. And I'm going to point them out here in the rule book. There's the moon, basically what looks like a Saturn, a planet, and the star. Okay, the game has 3 phases to it. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to read phase 1, which is the moon. And the moon, by the way, is called Mariners, then it's Planeteers, and then Seafarers. So that's the cool thing about this game is we don't have to understand everything all at once. We could just learn the moon part of the game, and that's it, and just play that. And that's what I'm planning on doing. And then once we finish, I'm then going to learn how to do the Planeteers. So when you're sorting and opening the game, you get to sort it by those 3 icons, and that's what I'm going to show you right here. There are these secondary discoveries, but see how they have the little star on them? That's the 3rd phase of the game, which is called Starfarers. And then there's a primary discovery, which also has the star on it. And so once again, you can just take both of these, and they're out of the game. You don't have to learn what they do. There's these aliens, and I'm pretty darn sure we're not going to encounter aliens in the 1st phase, so those are out of the game. These ones, there's a whole bunch of these, and the thing that I call to your attention is these are colonies. And so there's some things along the top, I can't remember what that is. This is like the thing in the middle is what you get when you have the colony. But here's what's important. See that number 3, 4? That means that you use this in a 3 and 4 player game. And then there's, some that are just, this one's just a 4 player game, right? So we're playing solo, by the way. I'm not going to try to do multiple players. So we're going to try the solo rules. And all of these are out of the game. You should have 11 of them in a different container. And you'll find that there's 11 of them that have the number 1 on there. So it'll either be a number 1 all by itself, or sometimes you'll see one that says 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this case, it says 1 and 2. It doesn't matter. As long as it has a 1, it's ours. So there's 11 of those. Those will be in the game. Okay? The other thing is you could see I do have discovery tokens with a moon on it. Remember, moon is our phase. We're doing the Mariner phase. It has the moon. So anything with the moon put together, these will be in the game. There are 3 sets of components that have the planet. There's E3, E2, and E1. And those are the 2nd phase of the game, so they're out. Here's components that I found, and I have no idea if they're in the game. First Beyond, Second Beyond, this offers action null, and Rogue Asteroid. I'm pretty darn sure First Beyond is in our game. I'm not sure about the rest, but it's not a lot of components, so I'm just setting it aside. Okay. These, they did explain what these are. They're just for tracking technology breakthroughs, things like that. I am pretty sure they're not going to be used in phase 1, but I'm holding them just in case. These are just going to be used for tracking things. And so whether or not we need to track them, I'm just going to set it off to the side. These, I have not yet figured out where they're used, but I will soon. And I have no doubt about that. Some of these match player colors and some of them don't. So I'm not even sure if they go into the player color bags. So I kept them separate for now. And I may later learn that these need to go in with the player colors or they go somewhere else. But for now, they're separate. Okay, then the cards. You have lots and lots of cards. So once again, they have the important thing for setup is on the bottom left. The moon is what we're looking for the solo game. And the other thing I'm going to call to your attention is see how they have like a dark gray background? Well, eventually they don't have a dark gray background. I have not figured out what the difference is between them yet, but I advise you to keep them together that way. So I have one big deck of cards that are our moon. There's a slightly larger deck for planets. And of course, this is phase 2. These are out of the game, so we don't have to learn or do anything with these cards. I do credit Mr. Butterfield so much that when you're first learning a game like this, there's so much to it, but at the same time, 2/3 of the components are no longer necessary, so you can like dive in and start playing. These ones have the star. That's the phase 3 of the game, and this is a very thick deck compared to the other two. There's also 2 types of progress cards. This one's called Adaptation, and then there's Breakthrough. They, as you notice, have the planet, so those are going to be phase 2. So I'm going to set those out of the game. And then we have adaptation and breakthrough with the stars. So those are also out of the game. For now. We will get to these lovely goodies later. Okay, next is there's these time cards. And they are used, they're used only in solo play. So we're definitely going to be using these. But the rulebook says specifically that they are only used during the Starfarers era, which is the third era. So I wish they would have put a star on this if that was the case, but they didn't. But just know these are only for the third era, so they're definitely out of the game for now. And if you may notice, that actually covered all the components. Now we do have some game boards, and they're the same things. Remember, we're the Moon Mariners, okay? So that's the side that we're going to use. That board has Phase 2 and Phase 3. It's a double-sided game board. So it'll have the Planeteers and the Starfarers. So you just set that aside. And then the other side of this is a big tech board. And I think you use that in the later phases. So after this phase is over, we would flip this over, use the other side of this, and then use whichever side of that that we're on. Okay, so I just put this in the middle of my table, and that's the one we're going to use. The other thing is you're going to use this, and they said this is for tracking your profits and all kinds of cool stuff. I like it already. The thing I call your attention to is you want to use a side that says 1 to 2 players. All right, obviously we have our rule book, and it's in front of me, and I'm going to be using it heavily. There are player boards. There's 4 of these and 4 of these. They call them HQ boards. At the moment, I do not know which one I'm supposed to use. I can tell you that this has all 3 symbols on it, and that's the moon. We're in the moon phase, so I'm thinking this is the one we're going to use. And if you look down here, you can see this one has just the planet and the Starfarer phase, but does not have the moon. But there's 8 of these. It's a 4-player game, right? So you have 4 of these, so I assume 1 for each player, and then you have 4 of these, 1 for each player. But I haven't identified what I'm supposed to use, and I'm hoping when we get to the setup section, I'll know. But for now, I have 1 of each out, and I'm pretty sure we're only going to use 1 because, look, on your turn it has steps, and they're pretty much the same. So the other thing is you're going to have a pretty cool looking player aid that tells you what everything does. And thank you, GMT. I love player aids, and the coin games do get that part really well. So I know I made fun of it, but the player aids and coin games are awesome. This is another player aid that's specifically for solo play. So make sure you get this one out. So you're going to have 2 player aids. The other one you use during regular games. This one you're going to use for solo. So I got both of those out, and as you can see, the other player boards I shoved off to the side because I'm pretty sure that that's for multiplayer, and they are all identical boards, 3 copies of each. Okay, so that's every component in the game. That's not too bad. There's a ton of cards. There's a lot of discovery tiles. The cool part is that we just eliminated 2/3 of it because we're only going to play this this one phase. So I do very much appreciate that. And so let's get started. When you get into your rule book, it has a nice introduction. I do recommend reading it. I did glaze over on a few spots because it's like, man, it's getting into some detail I don't fully understand. But it does explain everything well enough that I was able to do this video in 14 minutes and explain to you what I know. And I know all that just from these 2 pages. So so well done there. So now, oh, by the way, there are 2 rule books. This is the solo rule book. It's completely different than the multiplayer. So what's also interesting about this game is that the rules I'm going to read is not the same as the rules for multiplayer. So make sure you're using the right one. I am taking you through the solo rules. For now, it's just me. Once I get a handle of this game, I might learn the multiplayer ones and get one of my kids to join me. or I might be crazy enough to try to play all sides. I'm not a big fan of that, but we might try it. So let's just get through this first. And so now we move on to setting up Era 1 Mariners, because that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to move this closer to here so we can see our game board. And I'm just a little anal about some things, so I'm just shoving it under so it stays flat. And we'll read it together. If you find this boring, just jump to video 2. And, but what I'm going to do is we're going to discover this together as if you were just sitting next to me. I hope you appreciate that. Maybe you would prefer that I just tell you do this, this, and that. I don't think I can please everybody, but the one thing I can promise you is I'm going to get this video out fast and first. And I would rather get it to you tonight instead of taking my time and spending a whole week to master this game and then sending this to you a week from now. So that's the goal, is I'm trying to help people since there's no videos of this at all. So I put the camera down. First thing it says place the Mariner board on the table. Done. Place business display up on 1 to 2 players. Done. Contracts. Place the 7 orange contract fulfilled markers in their circles on the business display. Okay, so here's the business display. And I'm going to grab 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are my my markers. I'm going to take off my flannel coat. I apologize. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what it's telling us to do. That was easy peasy. So I'm going to just move that off to the side. Discovery tiles. Shuffle the 6 E1 discovery tiles face down. Stack them to form a draw pile. And do the same for the E2. Okay, so that's these. We already got those out. So let's get them sorted. And they're pretty much shuffled because I have no clue what any of them do. So it's not like I'm getting an advantage on myself here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we'll just put it right here off to the side. And this one off to the side like so. Done. Beyond marker. Place the first beyond marker on the board at the asteroid belt site. The second beyond marker is not used in the solo game. Keep it in the box. Okay, well that answered my question. We use this one, but we don't use the other one. But I'll just keep it here to the side. The asteroid belt is right here, so I'll put that there for now. Okay, next. Place a HQ in front of you. The competition doesn't use one. Make sure it shows all 3 error symbols on the right-hand side. Also take the solo player aid and one of the quick reference sheets. Okay, so it is the one I was thinking. It's this one because it has all 3 symbols. By the way, it's the only one. The other side of this is blank, and this one has the 2 symbols, and then the other side only has 1 symbol. So, so we grabbed the right one, and so I have an HQ board with those 3 symbols, and then of course those 2 player aids I was telling you about. We also have that. So I'm going to just set, since the rule book is going to stay in front of me as I'm reading, I'm arranging my stuff to look like this. So we're going to just have this here, and let me make sure, because I want to be able to put my camera down, so I'm going to move that up a little bit more. Yeah, like so. And then I got my player aids that I'm just going to set off to the side here. All right. It is showing like how to do the setup, by the way. So we are so far, you know, doing fine. And then we get to F, player color. Select one of the 4 player colors. Gather up all the wooden cubes and round base markers. Place these in the space provided in your HQ. Stack bases by type. All right, I'm going to take blue because it matches what the rule book says. Let's not overthink it. Okay, I apologize. I know I see that there's some glare here. How would I get rid of that glare? Yeah, that's brutal. Okay, so maybe I'll move the camera this way. How's that? And then I'm going to turn this like that. How about that? So we'll just turn it sideways. That doesn't bother me because from where I'm sitting, that's still facing me. Okay, so it's saying to put these where it matches. So like, for example, I think that picture matches that. So I would just, you know, pile them like so. So I'm just looking for other shield factories. And then this is, for example, it's a spaceport and an industrial. This is an attraction. Biolab, industrial, research, biolab. I play a lot of Master of Orion on the computer, and I know this game is not going to be Master of Orion. I get that, but just the whole fascination with space discovery and exploration, that's what I like, and so I'm a little excited about this, even though I know this is about making profit as a corporation. I still think it's pretty darn cool so far. Very excited. I hope it doesn't disappoint me, GMT. All right, refinery would be that one. Sorry, didn't mean to bump. And biolab, spaceport, refinery, and research. Okay, so it said to gather up all the wooden cubes and round base markers, place these in the space provided on your HQ. So I don't know where the wooden cubes go, but I'll just set them, just gonna set them here for now. And then I have this little profit thing. I think it's gonna go up here. Like that's basically my score track. I'm pretty sure that that's what it would do. So I'm gonna make a wild guess and put it on a 0 up there. And yeah, because that says plus 50 when you flip it over. So after it does a loop, it would be 50. Okay, so put 2 of your wooden cubes on the board at the Earth site. These are your starting teams. The competition doesn't begin with any on Earth. Okay, so there you go. We got 2 wooden cubes on the Earth site. And so I'm going to assume it's the place called Earth. So you can see here we have a base. And I'm just going to put 2 wooden cubes piled on top of each other like that. I'm assuming in a 4-player game, that's going to be pretty crowded. Okay, next. Place all 12 cubes belonging to the 3 unused player colors in the competition box on the board. All right, so I'm going to reach over and 4, 8, 12, like so. And then there's a competition box, and you can see it says solo play only, and so all of these are going in like that. Okay, take all bases belonging to any one of these colors and set aside the secure, exploiter, and shield factory bases for now. These will be added to the start of the Planeteer era. Put the remaining of that color into any type of opaque container, such as a coffee mug. Okay, so they basically need us to make a draw cup. So 1 second while I go get a drop cup. All right, I have this. Okay, so we're gonna just, let's compete against, let's do green. Okay, so it says to take the secure, exploiter, and shield ones out. So this is an exploiter. That's industry. Here's a secure. So it looks like the satellite. And then industry would be that one. So I'm just taking out anything that is not one of those 3. And of course I almost put the wrong one in the wrong place. How many do I have? It looks like I have 1, 2, 3 of each. The exploiter I only have 1 of. And then the attractions I only have 2 of. Everything else it looks like I have 3. So there's 3, there's 3, there's 1. So if I was correct, all of these should be good. And they look like they are. All right, so I'm gonna put all those in the draw cup. And of course I have this. I don't know if I'm supposed to use that yet or not. And it said to put these off to the side. They will come in, I think, in a future phase of the game. It said Planeteers. So that would be phase 2 of the game. So I'm going to just put those back in here and set it aside. All right. Progress markers. Place 1 tan cube and 1 black cube in the start space of the progress wheel on your HQ. So I see that. That's not a tan cube. That's a gold cube. And that is a black cube. Okay, so we got the black cube, and I'm going to assume that that's the tan cube. Even though it doesn't, if you look here, that looks like a tan cube. This is not a tan cube. But that's okay. It's not like there's that many cubes in the game. So I'm pretty sure this is what we're doing. Okay, so it says put it in the start space of the progress wheel. Okay, so we have a progress wheel here. That's this. And then this says start. So I'm going to put both of them in the start space like so. Okay, profits. Stack your light-colored profit marker along with one matching the competition's bases on the 0 track. Yep. Okay, so I'm assuming that we have competition from everybody. So I'm going to take all of them and put them out there. So we're going to have 4. Okay, next. Your era deck and starting hand. So grab the Mariner's deck, remove the 12 cards marked start. See example below. So start cards are identified by, see that's the darker gray. And then it says start on the right. So let's verify that. So we have, yep, there's the word start, and there's the darker gray. So we should have 12 of these. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to set those aside. Okay, shuffle the remaining mirror deck and place it face down next to the board to form your era deck draw pile. This forms the deck that you will use during the Mariner's Era. No problem there. So I'm just shuffling them, and I'm just going to keep reading while I'm shuffling. For your starting hand, take 1 chemical drive from among the set-aside start cards, shuffle the remaining 11 cards, and place them face down atop the era deck. Ooh, okay. All right, so let me finish shuffling the first deck. And my apologies. This is these cards were from. They more or less, when you open them, are already pre-sorted for you, which is awesome. I know sometimes they're not in some games. So anyways, that's them shuffled. Okay, and then it said we need to take the chemical something or other, chemical drive. So I'm going to take that out. Actually, there's quite a few of them. And then we're going to shuffle these. And I probably should consider sleeving these. The GMT cards are actually nice quality. They're sometimes banging against each other as I'm trying to shuffle them, but they're nice hard card stock. So I think they can take a little bit of shuffling. All right, and then I'm going to take these and shuffle them one more time. And then it says, you take this and your 11 cards that you just shuffled, and you put that on top of it. And then that makes your deck. So I just set it off to the side there. Okay, next. Draw the top 4 cards of your Mariner's Era card deck and place them face up in the 4 offer boxes. Okay, so let me back up a second. I found a spot for these. So this is going to go here, and these go there. Very good. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, and we're going to draw 4 cards, and they're going to go into the offer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Okay. All right, competition deck. Grab the Planeteers deck. Remove the 12 cards marked start. Shuffle them. Okay, let's grab the Planeteers deck. That is this deck right here. And, whoops, my apologies. That goes. All right, so that's this deck. I gotta put those on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are the start cards. I think we're not supposed to use those, so I'm gonna set those aside. And it's saying to shuffle the rest of these. So that's quite a bit. So I'm gonna start shuffling and then I'll read the rest. Okay, then it says set it face down next to the board to form the competition deck draw pile. It says and set aside 6. Oh yeah, okay. Just set aside face down. Return the other 6. Oh. So it's saying shuffle them, set 6 face down, return the other 6 to the Planeteers deck, shuffle it, and set it face down next to the board. All right, so it's saying do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the those starter cards. And so it says 6 of them go face down, which I already did. I put those aside. Return the other 6 to the Planeteers deck and then shuffle it and set it face down next to the board. So I'm adding these 6 to this mega deck here. And I guess we're shuffling those all together. Oh, I see. And then it says place the 6 shuffled cards you previously set aside on top of the competition deck. Okay, so I can do that. All right. It says, so there will be 2 distinct draw piles, an era deck made up of the Mariner cards from which you will draw for your hand and for the offers, and a competition deck made up of the Planeteer cards that the competition will use during its turn. What about everything else? Keep the rest of the cards, boards, and markers in the box for now. Most of them will enter play later. All systems go. The competition begins the game by taking the first turn. So, so far, the rules have been excellent. I don't think I got confused at all, other than just not reading what was in front of me. And then so far, you should be able to actually set your game up right alongside this video, because I'm doing it just in real time here. So I shuffled this deck, and I'm taking the 6 that I set aside, and now I'm putting that on top of the deck, and that forms their deck. So I'm going to put their deck over here, just because I don't want to confuse one deck from the other. So their deck will be there, our deck is over here, and maybe I'll flip it around since this is our headquarters, but for now, I'm going to leave it be. Okay, so we're ready to get started. I mean, this rulebook is so awesome. There's a part of me that thinks we could just play. But I'm not going to torture you like that. I promised you video 2 would be the gameplay. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. That takes a long time. Then I have to submit it to Board Game Geek and get it approved, which could take a day or more. So my apologies there. I'm going to get it up right now. And so thank you for watching, and stay awesome. And for those of you that are new, welcome. And this is very low key, very casual. I just talk as I play. You're welcome at my table. That's really what this is all about. I do get opinionated. I don't care if you don't like my video. I'm not here to serve you. I'm not collecting your money. So this isn't one of those situations. But you're definitely welcome to my table, and you're welcome to be a part of it. And you're always welcome to give feedback. Just try to be kind. That's all I ask. Thank you all so much, and I appreciate it. And like I said, stay awesome. We'll see you soon.